Right, welcome to the Maul. This segment we're basically going to break down a contentious topic of the year. This week I've got a very interesting one, and I think that the All Black fans and the South African fans will be pretty united for this one, and that is the Nations Championship fundamentally flawed? I'm going to pose a couple of questions as to why. First of all, if you look at the log, South Africa, New Zealand, 15 points at the top. France leading the Northern Hemisphere at 12. So right now it would be a South Africa versus France final, despite the fact that the All Blacks have beaten France, haven't lost a game, have got bonus points and such. So at this stage, we might not see the top two teams in the world play against each other, which they basically setting a justification was, well, it's not a World Cup, so we don't want, that's not the point. But I think that they fundamentally overestimate this North versus South rivalry, because I don't think I always align. If Scotland's playing the All Blacks or Italy's playing the All Blacks, I'm rooting for Scotland or Italy most of the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, in terms of the format, do we think that now we're seeing the flaws of the Nations Championship now that we've got 3 rounds?
Yeah, I think go back to round 1 when we had the conversation and we asked the question, what is the purpose of such a competition? Is it just to once and for all squash this banter about who's better, North or South, or is it actually to promote the game? And again, my point was, if you want to do if you want to generate more revenue for World Rugby, if you want to, develop the game, if you want to do it, use your second tier nations and have that comp. Let your likes of Georgia, Portugal, those guys, pump them, bring them to the different areas of the world, put them in, the spotlight, invest in them. Now we're doing this and becoming like, meh. Is it actually nice? No, it's not really nice. We've got the world's greatest rivalry coming up just on our. I mean, the British Irish Lions, and another story that I actually just remembered now is that there might be a conversation about the Club World Cup happening in 2029, just before the British and Irish Lions tour, which is also going to be like. So for me, after 3 rounds of seeing rugby kind of unfold, I just don't see the value that South Africa, New Zealand, and even I think the likes of Australia and Ireland, and I want to use Ireland as well, that they have in there, because Ireland is now, they've travelled, they've played against Japan in Australia, which is also interesting. So there's a lot of factors in it, and I don't know, Connie, if you want to maybe add on to that. There's so many variables that you just like, it doesn't make sense.
Look, I couldn't agree more. And I think what happens now to, I don't know, when I was a kid, I looked forward to playing England in 3 test matches in June. And going.
I think the biggest point is we lost our way with regards to that. We moved towards 2-match series and stuff like that.
100%. But what happened to playing England 3 times at home, Ellis Park, Loftus, seeing what England had at their best, Ireland at their best. And then another thing is, you're never going to get France at their best in the middle of the year. We know that. It's the end of their season. They tend to pick, I don't want to call it a B-side, but they tend to blood some players around this time. So now New Zealand have played this France B-side, but when we play them, it's going to be the beginning of their season. It's them getting ready for Six Nations. Okay, not so worried about Six Nations next year, but they're getting into their World Cup cycle. We play France at their best. Yes, will we beat them? Highly likely. We showed it last year in December that we can beat them. But now all of a sudden your top 2 teams out of the Northern and Southern Hemisphere, it's likely going to be 2 Southern Hemisphere teams. And yes, we have rugby's greatest rivalry, but that's no final. Is it now an accolade to win the Nations Championship? Do you go, look guys, we're the best in the world, like at the end of the World Cup? What is that feeling? How do we look at it going forward? And I don't see the value. Like Ren mentioned, is use your tier 2 nations for building rugby, for building it from a grassroots level up. There's no real value in winning the Nations Championship in my eyes. I don't see myself celebrating winning the Nations Championship the same way I would celebrate a World Cup. And even to an extent, the same way I would celebrate winning the Rugby Championship. I mean, that's a historic tournament where we got to play these guys home and away. You're playing, I mean, Fiji, for example, haven't played a game at home. They're based in Cardiff and in England. What benefit is that to the likes of Fiji? How has that hindered them in performing at the level they possibly could have? We saw how well they played against Scotland this weekend, maybe a little bit of home ground advantage. Having my family, my friends supporting me gives me that little bit more of an oomph.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
and logistically, it's a nightmare. I mean, Ben Earl was speaking about it, saying, and I mean, I had a chuckle because they travelled back to England and then they went to Argentina. So, I mean, in terms of people who had tough travels, I'm not sure they can really complain. I think Scotland, who went Argentina here, and then admittedly had to head back to Scotland. So there were some teams that definitely did a lot more travelling. But I think the problem is logistically, the Southern Hemisphere sides are so far away.
Yeah.
When you've got Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, Argentina, Japan suddenly being in the Southern Hemisphere, but not always playing at home. So I think it's a bit of a logistical nightmare as well. I think it'll be interesting to see how this format might change, where they might look towards maybe possible neutral venues, or potentially kind of, maybe making almost everybody travel kind of around, and you kind of sort of sit there. I mean, again, it becomes very expensive. I also think that at the moment, as you said, it's World Cup time next year, so I don't think we've seen any of the coaches really take it that seriously. We certainly haven't. I mean, we've obviously want to win, but
You're telling me that wasn't an A side 3 weeks in a row?
with our
Paul de Villiers is playing ahead of Siya Kolisi. He's the next Springbok captain.
there we go. He's maybe the current Springbok captain. Well, he did captain the junior box, so the next Springbok captain could be a decent shout. But I remain unconvinced.
Yeah.
We'll see. I think the only time we'll probably enjoy the Nations Championship, whilst we might not get the exact games we want, is that weekend of, if you're in like a London, for example, and you can go and watch all those games, bang, 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 bang. That I think will be good fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a mini World Cup for certain people that
Yeah.
get the opportunity to go watch. So that's going to be fun. Again, commercially, like I mentioned last time as well, commercially, World Rugby will generate revenue, and that's okay. That's all good for them. Just from a rugby point of view, that just doesn't make sense yet.
Right, well, there we go. 3 thumbs down from us so far. We'll have to wait and see at the end of the year whether this starts to make a bit more sense, or at least starts to generate a bit more excitement. But for now, we remain unconvinced. Yeah, literally.